All right, Coach, after reviewing everything after BYU, after taking time to digest and maybe watch some film, what did you like about your team's performance, and what areas would you like to see, them perform a lot better going into these next two?
Well, I thought we fought hard. I thought our energy was good. I thought we were really good defensively in a lot of situations. We had a few breakdowns, and they make you pay when you do that. But I thought overall our defense was really, really solid. I thought our rebounding was good. It's one of the best rebounding efforts on both ends that we've had this year, 17 offensive rebounds. So those are things I thought we did really well. Things we got to do better. I think we had some opportunities in the paint to finish. We got to finish better around the basket. I thought we got to knock in our free throws a little more consistently. I thought those are two areas that we have to improve, and we have to connect a little better, offensively, like more assisted baskets. We only had 6 assists, and that's rare for us to have single digits in assists. So more connecting plays.
After getting some time to go over film of your next two opponents, Texas and Houston, what have you seen from those two teams?
Well, I only take it one game at a time, so all I've watched is Texas, and I'll never go, skip games. So just focused on Texas right now. They're a very good program. They're well coached. They play really, really fast. They have scoring. Abrams is one of the best guards that we'll have faced all season long. He's a dynamic guard, can really score the basketball.
From an offensive standpoint, you've always said defense travels, offense doesn't always do so. But what can you do to kind of get that going? Is that like an emphasis in practice, or guys maybe on their own time working on their shots? What will it take to kind of get the offense to step up a notch?
What's a combination? Our guys have to understand the importance of executing what we want to execute. Searching out a great shot, ball movement is very important. And then, actually, as you mentioned, put the work in. You put the work in, which our guys do. Our guys are gym rats. Then you need to reward yourself for, all the work that you've put in. And they will. It's just a function of them getting comfortable, new environment, new conference. But I think as they start to settle in, I think we'll start to see them become more consistent out there with what they're capable of doing.
First 3 games into this conference schedule, as you were just talking about, what do you think this team has learned about this conference through its first 3 games?
Well, they learned that every single game is it's like an NCAA tournament game, and I've been in quite a few as a player and as a coach. Every single night it's an amazing atmosphere. Every single night, the level of intensity of each one of the games is phenomenal, and our players are learning to adjust to that, and that's a good thing because it's not going to change. We have 15 more league games, and all 15 are going to be exact same as the last 3 have been. But I think that's a wonderful thing because I think it helps you to be at your best at all times because you know that you can't ever go out there and not be prepared and not be ready to compete.
We just talked to Shemarri Allen, and he said one thing that he needs to maybe improve on or show a little bit more is his offensive ability. He did it last year at UMKC. Hasn't really been maybe the opportunities haven't been there, or maybe just didn't feel like he needed to. But he's a guy who can be more of an offensive weapon for you. Like, what more do you want to see from maybe a guy like Shemarri from an offensive standpoint?
Well, I want Shemarri to be Shemarri. He's a terrific player, selfless player. I want him to keep those attributes. I'd like to see him just when he has his opportunities to take them. Sometimes he'll pass up opportunities that I think would be good looks for him, or he's taken in past years where he's played before, and just continue to do those things because we're, recruiting him when he went in the portal, with those things in mind, and we know he's capable, and everybody believes in him. He's a terrific teammate. Like I said, he's selfless. And just, when you have your looks, you don't have to force anything or force plays. That's not who he is, and that's not who we want him to be. Just be ready for your opportunities, play within our system and take your looks.
What do you think this team has taken away from its first road game against Kansas State, and how do you think that will make them better against Texas?
Well, phenomenal environment. First road game we had since Miami, which was the second game of the season. So I thought we learned a lot about how it's going to be in Big 12 basketball when you go out on the road. And it's going to be terrific crowds. Atmospheres are going to be electric. And we need to make sure that we come with the right mindset. You can't go into a game, in this conference and lose your composure. You're going to be in situations where those teams are going to make runs. They're going to play well together. And we need to make sure we respond on our end of the court as well.
What do you think Darius Johnson is kind of learning about this early Big 12 experience? I know that first game wasn't a good game for a lot of guys, including him, but he's really stepped up the last 2. Like, how do you think he's adjusting and learning how to play against these Big 12 teams?
Well, definitely. He's definitely adjusting. I think he's getting more comfortable in his role here with us. And the leadership, the responsibilities that he has with the group now that he's a junior as a PG. And the thing I think that he's learning is that, again, every night, every guard, every backcourt is a terrific one. And so, again, for you, every night that you step on the floor, you know you're going to get another guard or perimeter player that's an elite player, and you have to have the right mindset to be ready to compete against them.
After the tough loss to BYU and with another big opponent coming up, like what's the vibe in the locker room and practice among the players been like?
Well, our energy and our efforts have been great. I think our guys' attitudes have been good. Are we down? Of course, we took a loss in our last game, but we understand that it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And what we have to do is we need to have a next play mentality, but going to the next play, taking the lessons that we learned, the good lessons that we learned from our last opponent, and the bad. And we need to get better as we go through this race together, and hopefully as we continue to improve, we become a much better basketball team.
Coach Rodney Terry had an excellent season last year as the interim coach. They won the Big 12 tournament, Elite Eight, I believe they advanced to. Got the permanent head coaching job after the season. Are you familiar with him? Is that someone you've crossed paths with before?
Hi, I've crossed paths with Coach Terry. Man, not only is he a terrific coach, he's a great human being. I don't think you'll find a coach or person anywhere outside of us or anywhere that would say a negative thing about him. Really good man, a hard worker, and he's done a really good job with his team and his programs wherever he's been.
I remember prior to the start of the conference play, I saw someone was reporting that during practice you guys were pumping in crowd noise to try to get the team ready to play in those harsh opposing environments like you were talking about. Is that still being done, or?
We haven't done it recently. Something that we've done to try to get our guys somewhat comfortable with what they're going to face, and we do it. We'll continue to do it periodically, but we haven't done it recently. But our guys, understood what I was trying to get. The point I was trying to make was that we're going to have to really be able to communicate through a lot of crowd noise, and that's going to make it more difficult. So if you don't speak loud, if your hand signals and things aren't on point, then you're going to have a lot of possessions where they may be empty because of lack of execution. So I think the point was made. We'll continue to make that point, drive that point home, more as the season progresses. But our guys, I think they understood what I want them to do.
You guys, obviously, you're leaving on Tuesday, and you're staying in Texas, am I right? To go to Houston after Texas. Is that obviously you guys decided that was the best move, just to kind of unnecessary travel back and forth? What are the challenges, I guess, when you're on the road that long?
Well, the challenges when we're on the road that long is, for us also academically, school has started for us. So first and foremost, that's our primary concern is making sure our guys are getting a meaningful education and a meaningful degree. And to do that, we need to make sure when we're on the road that we stay locked in, that we still have study hall for our guys, and we stand up to make sure our guys are taking care of business in the classroom. And they do. They do a great job of that. And of course, administration does an amazing job with that as well. And then the other thing for us to make sure that, with our idle time, that we understand, when you have two games of the magnitude that we have, that we're getting off our feet as much as we can, that we stand off our feet, getting rest, getting treatment when you're on the road as much as we can, because you're banging bodies. So those are things we want to do as academics. We want to make sure we're getting treatment for our guys. We'll make sure we're getting the proper rest.
Is Jalen, is he feeling better? Is he getting on the mend?
He's getting there. He's getting there. It's been, it's grueling, as you know. Every game, as we said, is so intense, so physical, and so you can wear your body down quickly. And I think some of our guys are learning that, not just Jalen, but a number of our guys are learning that. But that will be no excuse for us. For us, it's all about, getting our rest, making sure that we're trying to stay as healthy as we can, and preparing for our next opponent.
Okay. Appreciate it, guys. How you doing, Shemarri?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good. So, obviously, it was a really tough result on Saturday night against BYU. Just kind of looking back at that game, I mean, maybe what did you like about the team's performance? Obviously, you raced back and had an opportunity to maybe, win in the final minute. And you look back, what did you not like about that game?
I feel like defensively we had very good moments. They're a team that really scores the ball, average over 88 points a game around there. So just holding them to around like 60 was good on that part. I just felt like down the stretch and some parts throughout the game, we let them hit some big shots that we couldn't really recover from at the end. And then offensively for us, just finishing the bunnies, little things like that. Free throw line was a big thing for us. If we make 6 free throws, we win that game by 1 point. Just capitalizing on the special team plays and different things like that, I think we got to focus more on.
You were mentioning, the shooting struggles, but, despite all that, you managed to stay in the game the entire time with a really good BYU team. What does that say about your defense?
It says a lot about our defense. We really hang our hats on our defense, and we just need to let our offense come along. I mean, we didn't shoot the best, but we still had a chance to win it at the end. So that just goes to show, like, if we do a little bit more offensively on the offensive end and shoot it just a little bit better, we have a chance to come out with the victory.
Shemarri, obviously this team plays tremendous defense, but offense, as you mentioned, maybe needs to come along a little bit more. What does that take? Is that an emphasis in practice on your own time? What will it take to kind of take that the offense to step up a notch?
Just a little bit of both, like getting in the gym on our off time individually and working on our reps in practice, just remaining confident in our offense and what we do as a team, taking our open looks, different things like that, and it'll come.
Yeah, on that note, is there an adjustment offensively because you're facing a lot better defenses in the Big 12 than maybe you were for a lot of the non-conference games? Is it a little more – are you finding it a lot tougher to score maybe open shots that were there, last month aren't there against some of these Big 12 teams?
Not necessarily. I mean, just really dialing in on our offensive execution, running what coach draws up has been our main focus. This is like they say, the best conference in college basketball, so obviously there'll be a lot of better teams defensively and offensively. So just running our stuff to the perfection has been our main goal.
In the BYU game as well as the Kansas, you had back-to-back plus 9,000 fans. What did you think of the atmosphere in the past two games?
We really appreciate the fans coming out and supporting. That's been like a really big push for us. Like, the crowd gets into the game and it helps us a lot. Like, on the free throw line, I don't know, like, it really affected BYU and Kansas. They missed a couple free throws down the stretch to help us, like, stay in it.
Shemarri, you've been handling the ball a little bit more than you had in the non-conference play, playing a little bit backup point guard. Is that a role that you're comfortable with, and have you done that much throughout your career?
Yeah, I've always been a point guard, combo guard throughout my whole career, so it's really, like, second nature to me. Like, I'm able to play on and off the ball and just do whatever the team needs.
3 games in so far into this Big 12 schedule. What have you kind of learned about what it's like to play in this conference?
Every night's going to be a dogfight, and we're excited and ready for the games to come.
Obviously, you're an experienced guy. Was it your 5th year, right? Playing,
yes,
and you're team captain. I mean, you know what it takes. As far as your game, what still needs to improve? Are there some areas that you feel like, maybe, you haven't shown yet?
Yeah, I just feel like on the offensive end, I can just get out of my shell a little bit more like I did last year. I mean, it's a new year, new team, so just coming out my shell and just letting the guys know, like, I'm here for them offensively as well as defense.
You got 2 tough road opponents coming up, Texas and Houston. What do you know about those 2 teams?
They're really tough on both ends of the floor. They get it done, and they play hard for a full 40 minutes, so we got to come ready to fight.
What did you learn from that Kansas State experience? Because you're going to step into, hostile environments after being at home for a couple. What do you hope you and the team kind of take from that experience so that doesn't happen again on the road in these next 2?
Just to be prepared, know what's coming. Road games are really tough, so just being focused throughout the whole game, knowing that it's going to be a really great crowd for both of them games, and just being ready for the challenge.
What's up, fellas? Chilling.
So what did you, kind of take away from the experience the other night against BYU? Obviously, you guys did a lot of positive things on defense that enabled you to come back and get back in it. On the flip side, guys have talked about, maybe offensively, free throws, you got to execute a little bit better. What was kind of your major takeaway from that game?
Pretty much that there's no drop-offs, in this league. Coming off a big win and then playing BYU, it was just as tough, you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't get easier. So it was just a wake-up call, anybody can be beat in this league, and you got to bring your A game every game.
After the BYU game and with another tough opponent coming up, what's the attitudes among the players been like in the locker room?
We always have a next play mentality. Coach Dawk harps on that a lot. So not forgetting about it, learning from it, but just moving forward.
I know it's only been, 3 games of Big 12 play, but Coach Dawkins just talked about, guys are recognizing the effort that every game, exudes out of you guys. You got to be smart about, when you off the court, getting rest and treatment and stuff. Are you I know it's only 3 games, but are the guys starting to kind of feel how intense these games are?
Yeah, for sure. And in practice, it'd be intense too. So it's that fine line of, how much you got to get done, and especially me, try not to go too crazy. But yeah, it's definitely a bump league. So.
How much do you think you guys learned in that Kansas State game, the first road game, and what are you gonna use to take that into this next road trip?
We just know what to expect now. We got a lot of new guys that was their first time even being on the road in the Big 12 or in college. So now we know what to expect. It's time to regroup and respond.
Where would you say you are, health-wise right now? You kind of jump right back into it after, missing most of the non-conference schedule. I know you've been back for 2 or 3 weeks now, but are you 100%? Or are you still kind of working to get back towards that?
Yeah, I'm pretty much healthy for the most part. I'm just trying to get my timing down. I missed a lot of practice, so now that I'm in the game, it's fast paced. And another thing is my teammates, they do a good job with, not going too hard at me in practice because they know I'm hurt. But then you go play against other teams and they don't give a shit about that. So it's like it's kind of tough on me, but I get it done.
What do you know about the Texas team?
They're really good. That's all I know, and we're gonna treat them like everyone else, of course. But they're really good. They got Ithia Horton, the guy from here last year, so yeah, they're really good.
So on that note, will that be a little bit strange? How do you think that'll be, seeing Ithia on the other sideline, going up against him?
I don't think it's gonna be a problem at all. He's doing good over there. It's all love. It's a competitive sport. If anything, it'll be more fun. If anything. You know what I'm saying? Add that spark to it.
What does the offense need to do to kind of, tick up a little bit? I know that's, the UCF defense has been great the entire season. I obviously struggled a little bit. Just what kind of needs to happen to have the offense kind of take the next step?
I just think we need to trust the movement of the basketball for real. I think the ball has a lot of energy in it. Sometimes the ball gets to some guys' hands and it tends to stop. But I feel like once we really dial in on passing and cutting, or passing and ghosting, and just letting the ball find the open man, we got guys that can shoot the ball, guys that can offensive glass the ball. You got guys that can dunk. You know what I'm saying? So we got all the pieces, but we just need to let the ball find it.
I know last result didn't go the way you wanted, but this has been a fun start, I guess you could say, to the Big 12 play. Had the home game experiences have been phenomenal. The fan support's been great. For a guy who's been here a few years, I mean, how positive has that been? How much fun is that playing teams like this week in and week out, and seeing the atmosphere here and seeing, what hopefully it'll be like the rest of the season?
Super exciting. And the best thing about it is, every game is another opportunity. So we didn't take advantage of the last opportunity, but we're going to make sure we take care of the next one.
When you play these teams, I know every week there's a stat out of the teams with the toughest remaining strength of schedules, and it's like the entire Big 12 conference has the toughest remaining strength of schedule. Does it kind of feel like every game's like a tournament game when you're playing such quality teams? There's no off nights.
Yeah, like I said, that's another reason why it's another opportunity every game. But at the end of the day, our coach does a good job with letting us know they bleed how we bleed. They put our shoes on just like us. So at the same time, we know, they're really good teams, but they're beatable. You know what I'm saying?
Is there you guys are going to leave tomorrow on Tuesday, and you'll be in Texas, I guess, through Saturday night playing 2 games. What's the challenge when you're on the road that long and, sleeping in hotels? What do you got to do as players to make sure you're, totally ready for these next 2?
Honestly, for me personally, I like it. I like having, I don't have no friends over there. Only my teammates, and they're supposed to be locked in. So the hotel beds be nice. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we got to go sleep on something that's not nice, or, so I like it. I get to stay in the hotel, watch some TV, watch some basketball, whoever else is playing, really lock in. I really feel like I lock in on away games more than I do home games, me personally. But at home, we got the crowd and we got, everything that will help us at home. But away, I like away games.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, CJ.